And how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. Today I wanted to talk about why I think we'll almost certainly see something new regarding Starfield from Bethesda Game Studios this year at E3 2020. There's a surprising amount of evidence to back this up as well, and I'll break it all down in today's video while giving you my thoughts as always. First off, I have to begin by saying personally I was shocked that we didn't at least get another small Starfield teaser back at E3 2019. I was actually physically in attendance at BE3 in Los Angeles last year. It was my first E3, and although the showcase and experience was a blast and a total thing I'll never forget, I was still surprised at the somewhat minimal presence Bethesda Game Studios actually had on stage. Doom Eternal was obviously the main focus of the show though, and the Doom showcase was definitely hype and awesome. And to be honest, looking back, it actually makes sense that Bethesda Game Studios did things this way, as they didn't really have much to show at the time, compared to the rest of Bethesda Softworks as a whole. There was everything from Rage 2 to ESO, to Ghostwire Tokyo, to Deathloop, to Doom Eternal of course, to Commander Keen, to that Orion Cloud stuff, and I could just keep on going. With all of the non-BGS related announcements during the BE3 showcase, it made sense why Bethesda Game Studios decided to maintain a minimal presence on stage last year in 2019. Jeez, referring to 2019 as last year is going to take some getting used to. Still though, even way back at E3 2018, we somehow managed to not only get a Starfield announcement trailer, but also a small teaser trailer for the Elder Scrolls 6 as well, which was totally freaking unexpected. So with that in mind, it just felt super strange to not at least get another Starfield teaser at E3 2019. This is actually my first piece of evidence in regards to why I think Bethesda will finally talk about Starfield at E3 2020. The next piece of evidence is almost a mere opposite of Bethesda's situation at E3 2019. I'm gonna keep saying 2019, 2020 over and over again, it seems like. But anyway, let's go on. Bethesda Softworks doesn't seem to have a lot of stuff lined up to announce or showcase this year at E3, let alone Bethesda Game Studios. Fallout 76's Wastelanders expansion got delayed until the first quarter of 2020, which means it will be out long before E3, and coincidentally enough, Doom Eternal also got delayed until March 2020, so both Fallout 76 and Doom Eternal will have minimal presences at Bethesda's E3 showcase this year. That takes us to Ghostwire Tokyo, which you'd think would certainly have some sort of presence at the BE3 showcase since it was announced last year. However, with Akumi Nakamura, the mind behind Ghostwire and the living meme ever since E3 2019, with her mysteriously leaving Bethesda shortly after the game was announced, along with rumors of other Tango Gameworks staff leaving as well, the current status of Ghostwire Tokyo is unknown, although Tango has stated the game is still in development and Bethesda has said everything is fine. At this point, Bethesda is that dog in the kitchen with his coffee. Everything is fine, nothing's on fire, nothing is wrong, just keep drinking the coffee! But with all this in mind though, and with Akumi being gone, it's not clear whether we will see much of anything at all related to Ghostwire Tokyo at E3 2020. I do think we'll see something related to Deathloop though, maybe more Elder Scrolls Blades content, a possible announcement related to Rage 2, or even possibly Wolfenstein, and maybe a few other surprises. We haven't seen any announcements related to Spy Team or Giant Monster News, two secret Bethesda projects that I discovered within the ZeniMax trademark filings, and remember, Deathloop was originally one of my trademark discoveries, and then it turned out to be a game announced at E3, so it's always possible that we could see something related to those two as well. But all of this brings us back to Starfield. As you can see, compared to E3 2019, Bethesda doesn't have a lot of major announcements to talk about. Sure, they could have plenty of secret stuff to announce that we couldn't even begin to speculate about at this time, but with all of this in mind, you can start to see why Bethesda Game Studios almost has to step up to the plate with Starfield this year. If they don't, Bethesda's entire E3 2020 showcase may be a bit lackluster, to put it lightly, and while at best I'd say we should expect another Starfield trailer with a lot more substance than we had from the last trailer, the cold hard truth is, to be honest, even that wouldn't be enough to put Bethesda's E3 2020 showcase on the map as anything super amazing or noteworthy, especially when 2020 is already set to be one of the best years for gaming in a long time. There's a lot of stuff lined up, a lot of announcements, a lot of new games, and of course, the launch of next gen. ZeniMax knows this, and Bethesda knows this, so I think in order to get as much attention and buzz as possible, Bethesda Game Studios will not only show another trailer for Starfield, but will also get an entire Starfield showcase. a solid 10 to 20 minute block of time in which Todd Howard will be on stage talking about the game he has been wanting to develop ever since he joined the gaming industry. Bethesda knows this would get people talking about the BE3 2020 showcase, especially if Bethesda wouldn't have had a bunch of other stuff to announce like I just talked about earlier in the video. A major Starfield showcase would not only be the saving grace for the Bethesda E3 2020 showcase, but possibly even Bethesda Game Studios as well, as they have obviously been making a lot of, let's put it, questionable decisions lately, and I think not talking about Starfield last year was one of them. If they focused on talking about and showcasing their next single-player game, that would be a great step in the right direction. As far as how much we would actually see regarding Starfield is left to even further speculation. I discovered evidence that the game could potentially have been delayed internally until 2021, but carrying on, if the game was delayed internally until 2021, we may not see gameplay this year. However, if Starfield is set to come out this year in November, then expect to see gameplay and the full Starfield Showcase experience, as Bethesda Game Studios generally goes into full showcase mode at E3 the very same year they release a game, unless the game gets delayed, of course. Personally though, in my opinion, I think it is definitely in Bethesda Game Studios' best interest to have a major Starfield showcase at E3 2020 this year, showing gameplay, giving us an idea as what the story will be, the setting, the lore, and if Bethesda does all of this right and then follows up with a November 2020 Starfield release date, and if Starfield is a true open world next-gen RPG experience, and if Starfield doesn't come with the usual amount of those Bethesda bugs, then dare I say Bethesda Game Studios would have possibly made a full comeback from their fall from grace last year. But that's it for today's video. As you can see, there is plenty of evidence pointing towards a major Starfield showcase at E3 2020. Of course, this is all still based on educated speculation, so take all of this with a grain of salt. And as always, what I want to know is, what do you think about all of this? Let me know down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet and make it featured in a future video. If you enjoy the content, be sure to like the video. It helps the channel out a lot more than you might think. And if you want to stay in the know when it comes to the latest gaming news, then subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on so you don't miss the latest videos. Follow me over on Twitter for the latest channel updates. Come over to the official Skullzi Discord chat server where there is always an awesome and active conversation and some speculation taking place. Get some hype Skullzi merchandise over on Loot Drop on Teespring. And if you want to have your hand in providing future videos and getting access to unique and awesome awards, then consider subscribing to the community over on Patreon or joining the channel here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all of these awesome things are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when I finally realize that when I say RPG game, I'm literally saying role-playing game. Go fall down some stairs.
it just works.